Eli Brandt lived alone on the edge of the known galaxy. His home was a small colony dome on a dusty red planet named Orbis 9. The place was quiet. Too quiet. No neighbors, no noise, no trouble. Just machines, old tools, and the whirring sound of wind outside the dome. Eli liked it that way. He was an engineer, a fixer of things. He repaired what others had thrown away. Old drones, farming bots, scanning tools. He gave them new life. But recently he needed help. His systems were failing and work was piling up, so he ordered a machine. It wasn't anything special, just a simple utility unit with voice command and basic AI. It could carry parts, fix wires, and maybe even remind him to eat. The order was supposed to arrive in 5 days, but something strange happened. 2 days later, while Eli was tightening a panel on a broken rover, an alarm blared from the control room. Incoming object, non-standard landing pattern. He ran to the screen. A red dot moved fast across the sky, breaking the sound barrier. A capsule. Too early. Too fast. It was coming down right behind the ridge near his dome. Eli grabbed his jacket, activated his drone camera, and ran toward the crash site. The capsule had left a trail of smoke in the sky. When Eli reached the site, he found the small delivery pod half buried in sand. Its metal was scorched and bent. Sparks flew from the edges. "Great," he muttered. They broke it. But then, the hatch hissed. Eli stepped back as steam poured out. Something moved inside. He expected metal legs, maybe a boxy machine voice, but instead a figure stumbled out. Not a robot. A girl. She looked about 17, maybe 18. Her skin was pale, with a soft silver glow. Her long white hair floated slightly, even without wind. She wore a strange suit, part metal, part cloth, covered in symbols he couldn't read. Her eyes met his, bright, glowing like twin moons, and she spoke one word. Just one. Run. Eli froze. Was she human? A machine? A mistake? The girl took a step forward and collapsed. He caught her just in time. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked, shocked. No answer. Her skin was warm, but her movements were weak, like her energy was fading. Eli didn't waste time. He picked her up and rushed back to the dome. Inside, he laid her gently on his repair table. The scanners picked up something odd. Her body wasn't fully organic. Wires ran beneath her skin, thin as hair, glowing faintly. Her heart was beating, but it was powered by something artificial, not human, not fully machine. A hybrid. Eli had never seen anything like her. He tapped into the delivery log. There was no record of a human or alien being shipped, just a box unit. Some kind of mix-up? He checked the capsule ID. It matched his order, but someone, or something, had replaced the machine. Outside, the winds began to rise. The domes, sensors picked up movement on the outer range, faint, quiet, but there. Eli turned back to the girl. Her eyes were now open. She looked at him again. "Where am I?" she whispered. "You're safe," Eli said. "I think." "Who are you?" She paused as if unsure whether to trust him. Then, slowly, she said, "My name is Kari. I wasn't supposed to come here." "Yeah, I figured that," Eli said, trying to keep calm. "Are you a robot?" Kari shook her head weakly. "No, I was made, but I'm not a machine." Eli looked confused. "Made by who?" She didn't answer. Instead, she sat up slowly and looked at the dome's scanner screen. Her expression changed. "They found me," she said quietly. "Who?" Eli asked. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "The collectors." Before Eli could ask more, the scanner beeped again. Unknown signals, 3 of them. Approaching fast, Eli stared at the screen, then at the girl. He had just wanted a helper bot. Now, he had an alien girl in his workshop. Strange machines heading toward him and more questions than answers. "Looks like my quiet week is over," Eli muttered. Kari looked at him with tired eyes. "I didn't mean to bring danger. But if they catch me..." It won't just be me in trouble. They erase everything, everyone. Eli sighed and pulled out his tool belt. Well then, he said, we better fix this before it gets worse. Outside, the storm began to howl. The red sky outside Eli's dome darkened as the twin suns of Orbis 9 began to set. Inside, the cold hum of machines was the only sound until Eli's scanner beeped sharply again. 3 targets, closing fast, the computer warned. Eli stared at the screen. The signals were not like any normal ships or drones he had seen. They moved too fast, almost like shadows on the radar. Kari sat on the edge of his repair table, watching the readings too. Her eyes flickered softly, glowing silver in the dim light. They are coming for me, she said quietly. The collectors. Eli frowned. Collectors? Who are they? Kari looked down, fingers trembling. They are hunters, machines who find and take back what was stolen. Stolen? From who? Her eyes met his again. From an empire far beyond this star system. I was taken without permission. They want me back. Eli didn't understand. But he knew one thing. Danger was real and coming fast. The airlock hissed open. Eli moved to block Kari behind him. Outside, the dust swirled. 3 sleek shapes glided over the red sand, moving with cold precision. They were machines, half spider, half drone, with many sharp legs and glowing blue eyes. No sound but the soft hum of their motors. They don't speak, Kari said. They only take. Eli swallowed hard. He reached for his toolkit. Well, they picked the wrong place to hunt. Eli quickly set up a defensive perimeter around the dome. He activated old farming bots he had repaired earlier. They were slow and rusty, but better than nothing. Kari helped, too, tapping into the dome's systems. I can scramble their signals, she said, fingers flying over the control panel, but only for a little while. The machines outside approached the dome, scanning the area with blue beams. One of the farming bots creaked to life and rolled forward, carrying a heavy metal bar. The largest collector drone paused. It lowered one leg, then suddenly shot out. A thin laser beam. The bot exploded in a small fireball. Eli cursed but didn't panic. They're strong, but they don't know everything. Kari looked at Eli with new respect. Humans fight differently. What do you mean? Eli asked. In my world, Kari said slowly, everything is perfect, calculated, controlled. The collectors are programmed to be efficient, no mistakes, no emotions, but you fight with heart, with surprise. You are unpredictable. Eli smiled for the first time since the crash. That's called creativity and stubbornness. The next hours passed in a tense blur. Eli and Kari worked side by side. The old bots were slow, but they set traps, holes in the sand, hidden wires that sent electric shocks, and makeshift smoke screens from chemical sprays. The collectors adapted quickly, but Eli's unpredictability kept them guessing. During a brief lull, Eli checked on Kari. She was still weak but seemed more aware now. Why did you come here? He asked gently. Kari hesitated. I escaped. I was sent away to hide Tolan data, but the collectors found me. They want to erase what I carry. Not just data, but a secret. A secret? Eli said, intrigued. Yes, she whispered. The Empire is not as perfect as they say. They fear something that humans have. Eli raised an eyebrow. What's that? Freedom. Chaos. Life. Kari smiled faintly. Your kind is unpredictable, dangerous to their order. Eli leaned back, thinking. Maybe humans were not so small in the universe after all. Suddenly, the dome shook violently. The biggest collector slammed into the main door, metal screeching on metal. Eli rushed to the control panel and activated the emergency lockdown. The door sealed with a heavy thud. We bought time, Eli said, panting. Kari looked worried. They will not stop. They will destroy everything to get me back. Eli clenched his fists. Then we need a better plan. That night, Eli and Kari sat near the dome's small heater. Outside, The red dust storm began to rise, hiding the stars. "We can't fight them forever," Kari said. "I need to send a message, someone who can help." Eli nodded. "You mean other humans?" "No," Kari said softly. "Someone older, someone who understands the danger." "Where?" Eli asked. Kari's eyes glowed a little brighter. "Below the colony in the old research labs. There is a system, a forgotten AI. It may help us." Eli was surprised. "Old tech? You think it can fight the collectors?" Kari smiled faintly. "It's human-made. It thinks differently." Eli knew the underground labs were abandoned years ago. No one had gone there since the colony was first built. The thought of going deep beneath the surface while hunted scared him. But Kari's hope was contagious. "We do it at dawn," Eli said. "If we're going to fight, we fight smart." Kari nodded. "Thank you, Eli, for trusting me." Eli smiled, feeling something new. Hope. Outside, the storm grew louder, but inside the dome, two unlikely allies prepared for a battle that would change everything. The first light of dawn crept through the dusty windows of Eli's dome. Outside, the red planet seemed calm, but Eli knew it was a calm before the storm. The collector machines were still out there, waiting, searching. Eli tightened his tool belt and checked his makeshift weapons. He had no guns, no heavy weapons, just old farming bots, scrap metal, and his own cleverness. Kari was resting, but her eyes were sharp, even tired. They both knew what they had to do. "Ready?" Eli asked. Kari nodded. "Let's go." The old research labs were buried under layers of rock and sand about a mile from the dome. They were dark and silent, filled with broken machines and dust-covered computers. Eli led the way with his flashlight, Kari following closely. "Why? Did they leave this place?" Kari asked. "Too dangerous, too old," Eli said. "Nobody wanted to dig down here, but there's one thing left. A hidden AI system that was supposed to help the colony survive disasters." Kari's eyes lit up. "That might be the help we need." As they reached the entrance to the main control room, Eli hacked the door, lock with his multi-tool. The door creaked open, revealing a large room filled with blinking consoles and wires hanging from the ceiling. Eli sat at the main console and powered it on. The screen flickered, then glowed. "Hello?" he said, half joking. The AI responded in a calm, mechanical voice. "System online. Colony survival AI activated. How may I assist?" Kari's eyes widened. "It's awake." Eli smiled. "Okay, friend. We have a problem. Some machines want to destroy us." The AI paused. "Collector machines detected. Probability of colony destruction high. Initiating defense protocols." Back outside, the collector drones were circling the dome. They moved with deadly precision, scanning for any sign of Kari. Eli and Kari worked quickly. The AI began reactivating old defense turrets and security bots stored underground. It patched into the colony's power grid, lighting up floodlights and starting up warning systems. Kari looked impressed. "This is human tech, and it's still alive." Eli laughed. "Yeah, old but tough, kind of like us." The collectors launched their first attack. A group of drones rushed the domes. While firing energy pulses, the defense turrets opened fire with bursts of plasma. The drones dodged, but many were hit and exploded in showers of sparks. One collector broke through the outer fence and moved toward the dome's airlock. Eli grabbed a nearby control panel and triggered an electric trap. A surge of electricity shot through the ground, stopping the drone in its tracks. Kari watched closely. "Your defenses are clever." Eli shrugged. "We fight dirty because we have to." Hours passed. The battle went back and forth. The collectors were fast and efficient, but Eli's traps and the AI's defenses made them hesitate. Kari studied the machines. "They are like soldiers without feelings, but you use surprise and confusion. They don't expect that." "Humans don't follow rules," Eli said with a grin. "We make our own." As the sun set again, the last light casting long shadows, Eli looked over the battlefield. He saw something new. Hope. "Kari," he said, "do you think humans are really So different. She smiled faintly. I'm beginning to understand. You are more than just machines with feelings. You have spirit. Eli nodded. Spirit and stubbornness. But the victory was short-lived. Suddenly the dome shook. The collectors launched a heavy attack, smashing one of the main support pillars. Alarms blared. The dome's shields flickered. Eli ran to the control panel. If the dome falls, we're done. Kari grabbed his arm. We can't hold them forever. Eli's mind raced. The AI was powerful, but the collectors kept adapting. They were learning his tricks. We need something. More, Eli said. Something they won't expect. Kari thought for a moment. Maybe we can use the terraforming system. The terraforming system? Eli asked, puzzled. It's a giant machine that changes the planet's surface. It's old and unstable, but it's powerful. If we combine it with the AI, maybe we can create something new, something they can't fight. Eli's eyes brightened. That's crazy enough to work. That night, Eli and Kari prepared for their risky plan. They had to access the terraforming control center, miles away through dangerous terrain. We'll have to move fast, Eli said, and stay hidden. Kari nodded. I'm ready. As the red moons rose high in the sky, the unlikely team set off into the darkness. Two strangers, united by danger and hope. Eli glanced at Kari. Ready to show those machines what humans can do? She smiled. Let's surprise them. Eli and Kari moved carefully through the dark tunnels beneath the colony. The old corridors were cracked and dusty, filled with forgotten machines and broken lights. Every step echoed softly, reminding them how long this place had been abandoned. The terraforming control center is close, Eli whispered, holding his flashlight steady. Kari nodded, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. This place feels like a graveyard of old hopes. Eli smiled faintly. Maybe, but sometimes old things hold new chances. After 20 minutes, they reached a large metal door. The sign above it read, Terraforming Operations, in faded letters. Eli examined the control panel next to the door. It was ancient, with cracked screens and worn buttons. Looks like it needs a manual override, Eli said, pulling out his toolkit. Kari crouched beside him, curious. Will it work? Eli pressed a few buttons and connected his repair tool to the panel. Sparks flew, lights blinked, and with a low hiss, the door slid open. Inside, the room was huge. Towers of equipment rose to the ceiling, and giant pipes ran along the walls. In the center was a control console covered in dust. Kari stepped forward. This system can change the planet's surface. It can control weather, soil, even water flow. Eli examined the controls. It's powerful but old. We have to be careful. As Eli started to power up the console, Kari connected her own system to the controls. Her fingers moved quickly, inputting strange codes that Eli didn't understand. Suddenly, a holographic map of the planet appeared in the air above the console. It showed mountains, valleys, rivers, and something else. Kari's eyes widened. What is it? Eli asked. A hidden zone, Kari said quietly. Below the colony. A secret research area. Eli frowned. Why is it hidden? Kari hesitated, then said, because it holds a truth the Empire wanted to hide. A truth about humans. Curious, Eli started scanning the underground area on the hologram. He saw rows of old buildings, labs, and strange devices he had never seen before. Kari's voice dropped. This place was where humans were studied. By the Empire. Studied? Like animals? Eli's voice hardened. No, Kari said quickly. More like experiments. They wanted to control or erase human unpredictability. Eli's hands clenched. Why? What was so dangerous about humans? Kari looked at him, eyes serious. Because humans can think for themselves. They create, they adapt, they fight with spirit. The Empire feared that. Suddenly, the dome shook. Collector, drones, Eli said, jumping up. They're here. The ground rumbled as heavy footsteps approached. Eli grabbed a nearby control panel and activated the lab's defense systems. Mechanical turrets came to life, glowing red as they powered up. Kari stood beside him. "We can fight here. We can protect this place." The heavy doors slid shut, locking tight. The first collector drone burst into the room, moving quickly and silently. It fired a laser beam, but the turret intercepted it with a shield. Eli aimed the turret controls and fired. Back. The drone exploded in a shower of sparks. More drones came in, swarming like angry insects. Eli and Kari worked together, moving between consoles, activating traps, and using the lab's defenses. Kari's alien technology merged with the old, human systems, creating new patterns of defense the drones could not predict. During a brief pause in the battle, Kari caught her breath. "Eli," she said, "there's something you need to know." He looked at her, curious. "The data I carry," she explained, "is not just stolen technology. It's proof that humans are more than what the Empire thought." Eli frowned. "More? How?" Kari's eyes shone bright. "Humans have something the Empire cannot control, the human spirit. That is why they wanted to quarantine your kind." Eli felt a mix of pride and anger. "So they were afraid of us?" Kari nodded. "Yes, but now they see that spirit in you, in your fight." The battle outside the lab grew fiercer. Eli and Kari stood side by side, defending the truth beneath the dome. "We can't let them erase this place," Eli said, gripping his tool tightly. Kari smiled softly. "We won't." Suddenly, an alarm blared. The security system detected a breach in the main power grid. The AI voice warned. Eli rushed to a control panel and saw sparks flying on the holographic map. "The collectors are trying to cut the power," he said. Kari's voice was steady. "If they succeed, the defenses will fail." "We have to stop them," Eli said, moving toward the power room. The power room was a narrow corridor filled with pipes and wires. Eli moved fast, fixing broken circuits as alarms blared. Kari covered him, scanning for drones. Suddenly, a drone appeared from the shadows. Eli swung his repair tool, hitting it with all his strength. The drone stumbled and fell. "Keep moving," Kari urged. With a final burst of effort, Eli restored the power. Lights flashed on everywhere, the defense turrets powered up fully, firing at the remaining drones. The collectors hesitated, then retreated into the darkness. Back in the control room, Eli looked at Kari. "We held them off," he said. Kari smiled. "For now." Eli nodded. "But this place, this secret, it changes everything." Kari's eyes shone with hope. "Humans are not just survivors. You are fighters." Eli felt a new strength rising inside him. "We'll show them," he said quietly. "We'll show them what humans really are." Outside, the red planet was still and quiet again. But beneath the dome, the truth was alive, and the fight for freedom had only just begun. The dim lights of the underground lab flickered as the battle outside slowed. Eli and Kari stood side by side, catching their breath but knowing the danger was far from over. "We can't stay here forever," Eli said, wiping sweat from his brow. "The collectors will come back with more force." Kari nodded. "They will not stop. Their mission is clear, to take me back or destroy everything." Eli's mind raced. "There has to be another way." Kari looked at him with tired eyes. "There is one chance." Eli raised an eyebrow. "What chance?" She hesitated, then spoke slowly. "I carry data in my core, the stolen technology. It is the reason they hunt me. If I give it back, they will leave us alone." Eli shook his head. "No way. That data is too important. It could change everything." Kari sighed. "I understand, but if they get me, they will erase the data, and me both. We lose everything." Eli paced. "We need a plan that lets us keep the data and stop them." Kari looked hopeful. "I think we can, but it will be risky." Eli listened as Kari explained her idea. "We must connect my core to the terraforming mainframe," she said. "Combine the alien technology with human systems. It will create something new, A hybrid intelligence, Eli frowned. A hybrid? Yes, Kari said. Not just machine or human. Something beyond. Something they can't control. Eli thought for a moment. It's dangerous. The terraforming system is unstable. If we fail, we could destroy the colony. Kari nodded. I know, but it is the only way to protect us. The two prepared for the risky operation. Eli connected cables from Kari's core to the control panel. The strange symbols on her skin glowed brighter as energy flowed. The lab hummed with power as the terraforming mainframe came online. Suddenly the room shook. Collectors are attacking again, Eli said urgently. Kari focused, her hands moving over the controls. The mainframe's ancient systems began to merge with her alien tech. A new presence stirred, a combination of human design and alien intelligence. Outside, the collectors advanced, but this time, something was different. Their signals became confused, scrambled, their movements slowed and faltered. Inside the lab, Eli watched the mainframe's holographic interface. This is working, he said in disbelief. Kari smiled faintly. The hybrid intelligence is alive. The collectors tried to attack the dome again, but their coordination broke down. They fired at empty spaces, tripped on traps, and retreated into the shadows. Eli and Kayari exchanged a look of relief. Did it? Eli said quietly. We actually did it. Kari looked at him, her silver eyes shining. Together, we are stronger. The new intelligence inside the mainframe was unlike anything either had seen. It was fast, creative, and unpredictable. It combined human stubbornness and alien precision. It learned and adapted in real time. Eli laughed softly. You know, maybe humans are more special than they thought. Kari smiled. The Empire will have to rethink their plans. But the victory was not complete. The hybrid intelligence warned of an incoming fleet. They are sending reinforcements, Kari said. Eli nodded. We need to prepare. They spent the next hours reinforcing defenses, setting traps, and training the AI to control more systems. The colony's survival depended on the strange new alliance of human and alien technology. As dawn approached, Eli stood looking out a window at the red sky. Kari joined him. What will happen now? Eli asked. Kari looked hopeful. We keep fighting, we grow stronger, and we show the universe that humans are not to be underestimated. Eli smiled. I think I'm ready for whatever comes next. Together, they faced the rising suns. The battle for freedom was far from over. But with human spirit and alien technology, combined, the future looked brighter. The red sky of Orbis 9 was streaked with dawn's first light as Eli and Kari prepared for the coming battle. The hybrid intelligence born from their risky fusion of human tech and alien code pulsed quietly through the colony's systems. It was ready. We don't know how many are coming, Eli said, tightening his grip on a tool that had become his weapon. But whatever it is, we'll face it together. Kari nodded, her silver eyes steady and calm. The collectors have never faced anything like this. Outside, dark shapes appeared on the horizon. Dozens of collector ships, sleek and cold, moving with perfect precision. The machines didn't show fear or hesitation, but Eli knew one thing. Machines followed patterns. Humans didn't. Back inside the control room, the hybrid intelligence began issuing commands. Defense turrets powered up and security drones zipped into position. But it wasn't just about firepower. It's learning, Kari said softly. It's learning from us. Eli smiled. The human spark. The first wave of collectors attacked with ruthless efficiency. Energy beams flashed and exploded against the dome's shields. The hybrid AI adjusted defenses, redirecting power to weak points and deploying traps Eli had helped build. But then, something strange happened. The hybrid intelligence started doing things no machine would normally do. It created false signals mimicking Eli's own strategies from earlier battles. It adapted unpredictably, changing tactics in ways the collectors could not understand. Kari watched in amazement. It's thinking like a human. Eli moved among the control consoles, guiding the defense with a mix of experience and instinct. Come on, old friend, he muttered to the hybrid AI. Show them what human stubbornness means. The collectors became confused and disorganized. Their precise attacks faltered as they tried to respond to a shifting enemy they could not predict. One drone was caught in a trap and disabled. Another collided with a defense turret after being misled by a holographic decoy. Kari joined Eli at the main console. You said humans fight with heart. Eli nodded. And sometimes the heart makes all the difference. The hybrid AI grew stronger, integrating more data from the environment and from Eli's commands. It was no longer just a machine. It had the spark of human creativity. The battle raged on, but the tide was turning. Then, the unexpected happened. Massive collector flagship descended, larger and more powerful than any before, its weapons charged with devastating energy. Eli and Kari stared at the screen as the flagship fired a massive blast at the dome. The shields shimmered, but held. We need a new plan, Kari said. Eli thought fast. We use the hybrid AI to overload their systems. Kari's eyes brightened. Yes, if we can make the flagship's controls fight against itself. Eli worked quickly, feeding commands to the AI. The hybrid intelligence sent out hacking. Pulses through the colony's defense network. The flagship's systems began to glitch. Weapons misfired. Shields flickered. The ship faltered. Collectors on board grew confused as their perfect machine logic was broken by the unpredictable hybrid. With one final surge, the flagship lost control and crashed into the desert, a giant fireball lighting the horizon. Eli and Kari exhaled, watching the explosion from the safety of the dome. Kari smiled. We did it, Eli laughed. Together. But even in victory, they knew the war was not over. The hybrid intelligence had shown them something powerful. When human spirit met machine precision, the impossible became possible. Kari looked at Eli. The Empire thought they could control everything, but they never understood the power of being unpredictable. Eli smiled, tired but proud. They don't know what humans are really made of. As the sun rose higher, Eli and Kari began planning their next move. The hybrid AI was no longer just a tool, it was their partner. Together, human and alien, machine and spirit, they would fight to protect their home, and maybe change the galaxy. The battle had ended, but the echoes of war still hung heavy over Orbis 9. The red dust settled slowly around Eli's dome, now battered but standing strong. The hybrid intelligence they had created hummed quietly in the background, weaving its protective web through the colony's systems. Eli sat at the control panel, staring at the stars through the cracked dome window. He felt tired but alive, like he had been part of something bigger than himself. Kari stood beside him, her silver eyes watching the night sky. The collectors have gone silent, she said softly, for now. But they will return, Eli said. Or something worse. Kari nodded. They learned something from us, from you, from the hybrid. She looked at him, a new kind of respect in her gaze. You showed them that humans are not weak or primitive. You showed them we are unpredictable. Eli smiled. That's just how we survive. Days passed, and the colony slowly recovered. Machines were repaired, systems rebooted, and quiet life returned to the dusty plains. But something had changed, not just in the colony, but in the way the galaxy would see humanity. Kari sent a message through the secure network. It was simple, but powerful. Humanity is not primitive. Humanity is possibility. She sent it to the distant systems where the Empire's AI networks gathered data. The message traveled across light years, a new classification for humans in the great database of the stars. Eli watched the stars and wondered what this new future would bring. Do you think they will accept us now? He asked Kari. She smiled. They will not accept easily, but they will respect us, and respect is the first step to peace. Eli nodded slowly. Peace sounds good. Kari stayed with Eli, no longer a stranger or a mystery, but a friend and partner. Together they rebuilt the colony, not just with tools and machines, but with hope and determination. Eli taught Kari about human creativity, humor, and stubbornness. Kari taught Eli about the stars beyond, about other worlds and the unknown. One evening, as the red sun set behind the mountains, Eli and Kari stood outside the dome, looking at the horizon. "Do you miss your home?" Eli asked. Kari looked thoughtful. "I miss it, but this place feels like home now." Eli smiled. "Maybe home is where you decide to fight for." Kari nodded. "And who you fight with?" The hybrid intelligence continued to grow, helping the colony thrive. It learned from both human emotion and alien logic, becoming a new kind of guardian. Together, Eli, Kari, and the hybrid created a small beacon of hope on the edge of the galaxy. Far away, in the dark halls of the Empire's AI core, data streams flickered. A new file appeared. Humanity reclassified. The Empire's machines paused, analyzing the message. For the first time, they saw humans not as a threat to be controlled or destroyed, but as a force of nature, wild, creative, and alive. Back on Orbis 9, Eli and Kari watched the stars, ready for whatever came next, because humans were not just survivors. They were fighters, creators, and now, something new, a symbol of possibility.